Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about a very important topic today, and that is, of course, seed oils. If you're new to the channel, my name's Josh. I'm a competitive bodybuilder and exercise fitness professional. Today we're going to dig into the science behind seed oils and why they can be harmful and what actually happens inside your body when you consume them. This isn't going to be some buzzword video, okay? We're actually going to dig deep into the topic, explain what everything means, explain all the terminology and all the words and the fanciness, and we're going to get into some real detail here. So if you didn't already know, seed oils are vegetable oils extracted from things like soybean, canola, sunflower oil and corn. They're very high in something called polyunsaturated fatty acids, or PUFAs for short. A fat is a chain of carbon atoms with hydrogen attached. The difference between this and saturated fats is that they're saturated with hydrogen. This means they're very stable and solid at room temperature. Things like coconut oil, for example. Then you've got saturated fats, which are missing some of the hydrogens, so then they're forced to double bond, like this. These double bonds make the fat chemically unstable, meaning it's more likely to react in oxygen. But you probably don't understand all that. So all you need to know is the more double bonds there are, the more unstable it is. And then the more it can react with oxygen to create harmful compounds. Still confused, this little diagram should help. Unsaturated fats here, all wobbly, they can't stack properly. Saturated fats, nice and straight, they stack nice and evenly. Hopefully this gives you a better understanding of what I mean when I say it's unstable. So these are your seed oils that are high in polyunsaturated fats. These are, again, fats that are just double bonded and chemically unstable. This instability is why heating them and reusing them over and over again is what causes them to create toxic compounds. Things like aldehydes and lipid peroxides. Seed oils obviously don't come out the seed ready to eat. They're refined using chemicals like hexane, which is basically a form of petrol, then refined, bleached and odorized. This process removes most nutrients and makes the oils shelf stable, but it also makes them more reactive and prone to making harmful compounds when heated. So you start with the seed, then it goes and gets covered in solvent, and then it gets bleached, deodorized, and then eventually you turn up with something that you put in your food. Does that sound healthy to you guys? Seed oils are made of polyunsaturated fats, and when you consume them in excess, like most modern diets do, about 25% of your calories in some cases, they get incorporated into your cell membranes. Every cell is surrounded by a membrane made of fats. These membranes control what goes in and out of the cell. If your membrane is built with unstable PUFAs instead of more stable fats, it becomes fragile and more prone to damage. Damaged membranes impair cell signaling, nutrient transport and energy production. This is what a healthy membrane looks like, and then this is what a PUFA membrane looks like. All cracked, can't transport things out properly. Not too good. Polyunsaturated fats are highly susceptible to oxidation. Basically, they react with oxygen inside the body. This produces free radicals, which are molecules missing an electron. These free radicals attack your cells, causing oxidative stress. Think of it like rust forming on your body, but at a microscopic level. Over time, this stress contributes to inflammation, diabetes, heart disease, and a whole host of other things. When you fry foods in seed oils, especially ultra-processed foods, you create toxic compounds. Here are the main ones. Starting with number one, you've got aldehydes. These are formed when PUFAs are oxidized at high heat. This is toxic to your liver and mitochondria. Number two, you've got trans fats. These can form during repeated heating, and it's known to increase your risk of heart disease. Then you've got advanced glycation end products. This is when sugars react with fats or proteins, which then forms this mouthful of a word. We'll just call these ages. This damages your tissue and increases inflammation. And then at number four, you've got lipid peroxidation. This is when fats themselves get oxidized, which then creates reactive molecules that attack your cells. For example, let's start with a delicious donut. This highly processed product has to be heated in some way, fried if you will. What product would we use to fry it? A seed oil. In a fast food restaurant, that oil that is used is going to be used repeatedly over and over again. Each time that oil is reheated and reused, it increases the aldehyde, which we were talking about before, along with lipid peroxidation, making it more toxic the hotter and longer it's used. Let's go back a bit and talk a bit more about mitochondria damage. Your mitochondria is the energy factories of your cells. When unstable fats like seed oils are incorporated into the cell membrane, or it's oxidized, they damage mitochondria. Damaged mitochondria produces less energy, creates more free radicals, and impairs fast sugar metabolism. This is linked to insulin resistance, diabetes, and heart disease. So with all that said, how does it actually not just affect your inside, but your outside as well? And I'm talking about your weight gain. A study done by South Dakota State University involving 300 finishing pigs found that those fed a high oleic soybean oil diet had a higher average daily weight gain. Not only that, they had a slightly better feed efficiency compared to those fed choice white grease or no added fat. This suggests the type of fat that was included in the diets of the pigs can also affect the growth performance of the pigs. The study I'm referring to here, I'm gonna have to read it out because I can't say all this in one go. Effects of feeding high oleic soybean oil to growing finishing pigs on growth performance and pork quality. In this study, they had two groups. They had group A, which was fed a standard diet, and group B, which was fed a seed oil supplementation. Now, as you can see from these very large red arrows I've drawn, Group A did gain some weight and Group B substantially gained way more weight than the other group. So what does this then conclude? Seed oil, faster weight gain and fat accumulation. The inclusion of soybean oil led to increased fat thickness on the pigs, indicating that the oil not only promoted growth, but also influenced fat accumulation. Now, what was the bacon like on these pigs once they'd been killed? The study suggests that the oil didn't negatively impact the quality of the meat, and it actually was quite good. Of course, pigs aren't humans, but they're often used in nutritional research because they share so many similarities between us and them. The key takeaway here is simple. Diets high in seed oils drive rapid weight gain in animals like pigs. While humans aren't pigs, it definitely drives a bigger question. Will this affect people the same way after long-term seed oil consumption? So how does seed oils compare to other fats and oils that you might use, things like olive oil, coconut oil? Like what's good, what's not, what is safe to actually use and what's not going to cause any kind of cell damage? Not all fats are bad. Saturated and monosaturated fats are more stable and don't oxidize as easily. So this includes things like coconut oil, which is high in saturated fat and stable under heat, beef tallow or lard, so think traditional animal fats that are stable for frying and cooking, olive oil, mostly monosaturated, which is good for low to medium heat cooking. These fats maintain healthy cell membranes, protect mitochondria, and are less likely to produce toxic compounds when heated. So what are the key takeaways from everything I've said so far today? Seed oils are not meant to be your main source of energy. They're chemically unstable and produce toxic compounds when heated, which pretty much every time you use a seed oil is normally when it's getting fried up in a McDonald's, a KFC. So it's pretty toxic if you're going to be consuming this stuff. And not only that, it disrupts cell and mitochondria function. So what's the best way to get around this? Cook with stable fats, things like coconut oil, beef tallow and olive oil. The best way to avoid this is to just not go near the stuff at all. Try and avoid fast food, try and avoid heavy oil use, seed oils, and as a whole, if you mitigate that completely, you're not going to have any of these issues. Balance your omega-6 intake with omega-3, so fatty fish, flax seeds, walnuts, these kind of healthy fats. Understanding the science behind seed oils helps you make better decisions. Your cells, your mitochondria, and your long-term health benefit when you choose stable, whole food fats over these highly processed seed oils. If you found this video helpful or useful, please subscribe, like, and share. And if you're interested in more deep dives into nutrition, health, fitness, drop a comment below and tell me what I should talk about in the next video. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.